Brigitte, good morning, our queen. She could see the stream. Boys, it's official. We are live. So, everybody, welcome. Happy, fabulous Friday, legends. Best day of the week. Well, second best day. I love working on the weekend with you crew and being out there tomorrow game day, most certainly. But we are the Alpha State of Mind. This is the Agents Weekly Blueprint. We hope you've had a successful week and successful weekend ahead. So we come together weekly on a Friday, right? 10 a.m. Sorry about the live stream issues last week. I'm going to redo that session. We had some changes in Meta that I've managed to work out today because Meta and Facebook is always evolving and changing, right? Yeah, we'll redo that session in due course. But without further ado, today we've got an incredible session lined up for you guys and girls. And
What we
it's a
have.
session that we all experience on a daily basis, I would say. That feeling of, God, did I ring that client? Did I process that documentation? Did I order that signboard? Oh, did I approve the brochures? Did I organise the first open flowers? Did I follow up on that finance? When's the unconditional date? The hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of daily tasks that occur in a real estate agent's lives, and I'm sure we can all relate. At some point, we've gone to bed at night and the mind goes, bing, shit, did I do that? I forgot to send this. I
Oh
forgot
man.
to order that, right? It's the
Yep.
worst feeling that you can go through as an agent.
Yep.
And we all know that there are so many tasks that happen in our life and our world, whether it's from processing the listing to getting the contract, what happens, all those little minuscule tasks that all add up to
68 to be precise.
68, is it? Okay, thanks, mate. That's the magical number. 68 tasks per listing, is it?
From it going just being listed to
Yep.
unconditional settlement. Wow.
Okay. Well, there you go. Well, what a beautiful segue into the man himself, Marco, who's going to share with us some automation of what he's got in his business so that at the end of the day, he can switch off, kick back, relax, and know all those 68 tasks have been diligently done autonomously so he can enjoy life, not just always thinking about business. Marco, looking forward to this session. Let's jump straight into it, mate, and talk about how to automate all those
Yeah.
rigorous daily tasks that we go through as industry agents.
Yeah. So I guess we did do a session with myself previously with the Trello board. And that's what I use or I'm using to kind of get my business flowing quite nicely. And basically what I did was over the last, I guess, 12 months, I've been like with all of us, we're all sitting there going, oh crap, that needs to happen or that needs to happen. And like having that all in your brain can be quite noisy. So like being able to then download it somewhere, capture it somewhere, and then be, not only that, but efficient, because it's inefficient when I got to remember that while you're doing something during the day. If you had it already like lined up, going, okay, today for the first 2 hours, I'm going to do this, and that takes care of that, and then that then creates that. So it's a bouncing ball that happens in your business rather than being spasmodic and just going here and there and everywhere.
Yeah.
And you get a phone call and then you're off on that adventure. Because I've got ADHD, I'm then following that, and then I'm here, and then I'm that, and then I'm never completing nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's go. I'm just going to go very quickly, recap very quickly on Trello, some of the systems that I've already kind of put together, and then we'll kind of follow the bouncing ball. Nice quick session today. I'm just going to show you some stuff that I'm doing, and this is all now going to start getting implemented into my business as of July 1st for the new financial year. Well, it's probably a little bit beforehand with testing. And also we've got a new CRM that's coming in. I wonder how that's all going to kind of connect in. But in any case, first things first, Trello, generally speaking, is free unless you want to do some upgrades and automation, which then it's around about $450. So it's still pretty cheap to have a full-time project manager. Not only that, but then the project manager itself, the system itself, does allow other people to jump in. So let's say if you've got a VA or an agent and a project manager or a campaign manager, they can all jump in and kind of watch that kind of progression, the ball bouncing around. All right, so what I'm going to do is just quickly share.
So this is great, bro, if you're a solo agent, but obviously if you are working with support staff or as a team, an effective business unit, you can plug team members into it as well.
Absolutely. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I'll show you how that like will make it really cool because then everyone's on the same page, even though that you might be processing an appraisal or booking an appraisal at 2 o'clock in the morning. Everyone will get an update or an email as it comes through.
Cool.
All right, so hopefully we can see that board. My
You got
oh,
your
sorry,
Zoom
my
screen?
apologies.
Yep,
My
we've got your
apologies. There
Zoom
we go.
screen.
How's that? Share? How's that going?
Got your
Seeing
Zoom
your
screen.
Zoom screen.
Is
There
still
you go.
Zoom?
Yep.
There we go.
Yep. That's it, buddy. It's come up
That's
now.
cool. All
Yep.
right, so we start off
Yep.
with the business plan, which again, I've got a business plan here, which is a templated one. So anyone can, by the way, anyone can copy this. I can give you this. I can help you set up your Trello board if you want to kind of go through it, the complexities, mentor you through it. Any agents that want to come on board with our beautiful, trusted company, you'll be getting this anyway with me for free, and I'll be mentoring you through for the first 1 to 2 months as you start on board. So this here, basically, this board here is pretty much everything that you need to succeed. It lines up everything on what you're doing first year, second year, so on and so forth, your projects, what you want to do. If you've got a co-agent, so let's say if you're an agent that is doing quite well and you need a bit of an idea on how to have a co-agent next to you, we've also got all of that and what their jobs and processes are. We've also got team managers. So if you're at a 3-man team, probably writing around about 100, 150 homes a year, then you've also got to have a team manager. You've also got all your work rhythms, prospecting strategies, all in this one sheet. So like you can share this with your team or not, but then everyone's on the same page on what the business is. Everyone's invested. Everyone knows what's going on. So that's pretty cool. Then what we do is we reverse engineer that and go, what does that look like on a weekly basis? So here we go. These are our meetings. That's our board meeting for the morning. Then you've got your, morning routines, what you got to do, all that kind of stuff as well. So this just kind of keeps everyone on track. Now, bearing in mind, these are just reminders. These are checklists as a reminder. You don't have to do all these. This is just so you sit down in the morning. You might have had a big weekend, or you've got something going on, or you're just burnt out because you're working so hard. You go, okay, Monday morning, I'm resetting. Here I am. What have I got to do? Clear my head and go through this. And that just kind of really picks up the pieces for you, just in case you might lose something through the cracks. So you don't have to do all this. Like, it seems a lot, but it's just more so reminders. And this basically will build your things to do list. All right, so
Just on that, mate, I've just dropped in the event comments, folks, for the previous session Marco held, which was absolutely brilliant
yeah,
on the mastermind of building out your business plan. So that
yeah.
YouTube
So
content is in the comments section. If you want to grab it, that's all about the business plan, building the mechanics of your
yeah,
plan. And then that obviously pre-populates into this, obviously, on your daily
that's right. Yeah.
tasks.
So this has got all your bits and pieces there. And you can see here, like it goes through from even like prospecting. You can do your, create ideal week with, I generally, what I do is I get the calendar and I'll have like this time scheduled off saying, 2 hours I'm working on that. Then I create that things to do list, which is in here. So I get the click here, and that's where the things to do list is. And then prospecting, between 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock, whatever you guys do, or in the morning. And then also, do you have any buyers that you need to talk to? And then the final wrap up as well. So generally, all of that is in things to do. So that link that you sent through, Chris, have a look at that. That literally covers all of this off. So
Yeah.
This is
those two,
impressive. This is an
those two
impressive.
boards there. Now, the reason, I mean, it looks a bit crazy to start off with, but once you kind of work through it, then you'll understand it. The other thing is, guys, and everyone that's watching, like I wanted to build something that will like stay the test of time. So it doesn't matter whether you're an agent doing 0 to 10 listings or an agent going from 0 to 200 listings. This will work. So it's an application that will work in any business. Now, moving into just very quickly with emails and things to do. So this again, I'm just kind of playing around with a few things. So this is your things to do list. This is where you put all your stuff that you want to remind yourself of. But not only that, let's see if I can bring up very quickly. I'll just go here. So let's say if you had an email that you wanted to task, right? We've also got a setup here in your Trello board, right? That you can, now obviously this is just a normal email, but I can look at that. So you've got the board here, attention, bang, add, right? I can even add a date to it. So if I want to follow it up or whatever it might be, right? I'll add that to it.
And that automatically pops up in your Gmail. So you can go to the email, go
Yeah.
to the thing side, and it gives you the option.
Yeah, so you have to set up, it's a very simple, so here you click add-ons, right? You put your Trello, it'll ask for your Trello account, you log in the
Yep.
normal way, and then you'll have that all there. So
Yep.
then from there, if we have a quick look back at the end, you can see quite quickly, it's just here.
For those who don't know Trello, it does feel very complicated in the beginning to understand the basics from the left side of the screen to your right side of the screen, the workflow. That's really all it is, and then you can click and drag things in and out.
Yeah. And what I do is I kind of like, you think of it like you open up Trello like a wallet. When you want to open up the Pandora's box and you want to like deal with the crazy stuff that's going on with workflows and task lists and real estate, right? That's when you open up to get your business flowing. And then you close it and you go, okay, I'm done with all the listing stuff. I'm just going into prospecting mode or going into meetings and stuff like that. So it really just keeps your business humming along. Anyway, so you've got the appraisal section, sorry, the email section just over here. So with this one here, you can do a whole lot of stuff with it. You've got automation. You can put due dates in here as well. You can put checklists. Let's say, for this one here, I wanted to, do a few things first. So for example, here we go. Call vendor, send email, right? Follow up. Follow up. Beautiful. So then what we can do here, let's say if you've done it, I've called the vendor, right? I've want to send an email. So I've spoken to my offsider and I've got my projects manager pro. He's going to take care of that. You can assign that to them. And then once they've said, yep, no problems at all, it's all done, then I'll follow up. So that's some stuff.
And that'll obviously come in under their tasks when you assign it to them for that day. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. So
question, mate.
Yeah.
This looks brilliant on desktop. Is it mobile friendly? Like,
Very
is there
mobile
a
friendly.
Trello app as well? So
very mobile friendly, yeah.
Yep.
And I guess with that one there, the cool thing is you can see. So I'll just show you. So for example, this is how I've got my email. So I've just gone. This is for my brain. So on the day that I'm starting a task through my things to do list, I'll go. These are the jobs that I can do in the 2 hours, right? And then once I've started the task, this is the one that's currently I'm working on. So I'm not moving from that until I've finished it, right? And I'm either waiting for approvals from a vendor or whatever it might be, or I've pushed sent on the email or the task or whatever it might be.
Drag and drop.
And you can do that on your phone as well. So let's say if you're just, in the car wanting to do some work or whatever it might be, you've got all that information there. Now, what we'll do, just very quickly, I'll just bring you to this. This is something else that I've kind of now integrated into Trello, and we'll do it live here. So give me 2 seconds. So input form here. As we all know, I'm not sure if we're all aware of Drop Forms. Drop Forms, again, free program. You can add and put together forms. So what I've done here, first things first, right? I'll just do this very quickly. Publish form. So I've created the form, number one. Number two, which I will show you the form, I've taken this link, right? Now, depending on whether you're Apple or Android, so you put this into your browser of your phone. So you get your phone, you put that link into your browser, right? And then you say, I want to create an app or a landing page that I can click on, right, in your phone, right? So what that means is what you do, again, it's let's view it. On your phone, let's say if you're currently talking to a vendor or something like that, I click on my little app, which brings up this form here, right? And I'm talking to the vendor right then and there. Maybe I'm in the car, I'm driving around, whatever it might be, I'll pull over and I'll fill it in. So let's do that. If I can tell it. Hey, last name. All right, like beautiful.
No pressure spelling your name correctly live, brother. Under the under live pressure, where he does his best business.
That's all right. And we'll just put in the email address, right? And again, you can voice dictate it if you wanted to, but whatever. So address, we can put in there 123 Smith Street, the classic street of all real estate. All right. Sorry, city. SA. And let's just do that. Right. And then I've, wanting to book it in at a certain time frame. Cool, no problems at all. Let's go 2 p.m. Okay, wanting a listing presentation, submit. So why I took you there first is if we go back now to, this is what I've created, the appraisal page and pipeline page,
Boom.
it's automatically dropped into here. And it's also got the information here as well. Why that is important is because, like, a lot of people, we book appraisals, we've got it in this system, we got it in that system, but for me, I'm a visual person. I need to know where everything's kind of moving around. And so for me, Marco is my vendor. I know my vendor, this is the property, that's the easy information. And you can put a whole heap more information in here. You can copy and paste, you can edit it very simply. You can do whatever you want to do. You can have, check this out, you can have dates that you want to, checklists we'll get to in a second. But for example, if it's just me or I'm looking at it and in my weekly page, right, where it says to start off with, look at your property board, look at your appraisal board, that will then create that task of what I'm going to do next in my appraisal section. So I've sectioned off 2 hours in my morning. I'm going to look at this list because that creates my activities that I don't want to forget. So, okay, no worries. I'll go back to my appraisal board. Oh, cool. I've got an appraisal there that I've just booked in. I probably want to do something with that. What do you do? Like as a brand new agent, you got no idea, right? As an intermediary agent, you might have some ideas. And as an expert agent, you're probably swamped and I go, I can't remember. So you go, I've already created this task list and fingers crossed. Yes, beautiful. Look at that. Boom.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Wicked. So to sign the task there.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
So again, these are tasks that you do or you don't do, but more of a reminder of things that you could potentially, for your business, I guess, values and the way that you want to do business. We've isolated that in our previous boards, which is our operations board, our processes. And this is what I've just done is I've put that into our processes board or our systems, right? And there's a board there. Right. And then there's a checklist in that board. And all I've done is automate it saying that when an appraisal becomes a pre-appraisal, we've got a checklist that we've got to abide by as a team or as a company. Right. So and again, you can look at that. You can add timeframes to it. Reminders. You've got people that you can add to it. Now, bearing in mind, if anything is a reminder or anything like that, it will come up on your phone and also come up on here and also come up as a Trello email for you in the morning.
The phone app's amazing, guys. By the way, the phone app is as good as the desktop. I think.
Yeah. So you can kind of go through and it takes you through. So let's say you're working on this and you go, okay, no problems at all. Done that, done this, done that. Beautiful. Cool. No problems at all. And your staff can be doing it. So you could be watching this as well live going, shit, my staff are doing it. Great, no problems at all. Now the appraisal is booked. So it's all done, all booked, right? What's the next step? Here we go.
Wow. So it's pre-populating every time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if your systems change or you go into a different CRM, all you have to do is go back. Don't have to go to here. You go back to the card. It's only one card. And I'll show you that in a second. I'm in an operations board. It's only one card and you just go in there and change whatever the system is that you need to change or the process. All right, so that's done. Now we're going to move on to, I've just done the appraisal. I've come back to the office, right? What do I do? And what does my team do to then ultimately try to capture that listing? So there you go.
That's
agent.
awesome.
Send appraisal, compile the information that you've spoken to with the vendor meeting, and put together a report, either team manager or yourself, which, you know, when you're working by yourself, you've got many hats, so you are the team manager, to create the selling proposal, send out the selling proposal via the template that you might have, and then also SMS all the bits and pieces to the vendor. So for me, I'll do an email, but also send a text message as well with the link. Obviously, we're using Gamma, so that's really cool. And then complete any agent bot protocols that you might have, you know, following up with certain dates to follow up with, prospecting calls, whatever it might be that you might want to do. But again, these are just ideas. You know, you can do them, you don't do them, but like, it's better to do something than nothing. And it's better to have them always there reminding you rather than kind of missing and slipping through things through the cracks. So this is kind of helping your system there. Okay, so let's
I
say,
mean,
well,
that's incredible, because let's be honest, there's two reasons that we as industry agents do win business or lose business. One is we didn't add value on the day, right?
yeah,
And two is our follow-up post appraisal's atrocious, right? So we didn't hunt the business because there's 68 tasks going on with every other bit of stock that you're holding at the moment, right? So you
correct.
forget this stuff. And you can see, folks, just if you bring up that post appraisal, like, have a look at how many tasks there is just there in itself for pre-appraisal and then post appraisal. I mean,
Yeah.
there's probably what,
Oh,
20 tasks
you're
there
looking at
alone.
21 tasks, 21
21
tasks just to
tasks.
get to
There you
post
go.
appraisal.
Just in a post and pre-appraisal. And you know, that's really important, because I know a lot of industry agents, they go out, they do the appraisal, they might give a call, and then that's about it, right? You could see the value adding stuff that you're ticking off pre and post appraisal, from not just presenting, giving them a follow-up call in 24, 48 hours. Have I got the Guernsey for the gig? You could see there's a lot of value adding stuff that you're ticking off, either yourself or your team, that you're providing to the client post and pre appraisal.
Absolutely. And the other thing is, this is your groundwork, your foundation for your business. This is your backbone of the way that the traffic flows around your business and how you make money at the end of the day. And if you just go a little bit slower and do it this way, you'll go a whole lot faster because you get better results. And everything's a bouncing ball. Now, the other thing is, I've just kind of gone, look at this now. I'll move that to the side. This is done. Um, so let's have a look at that. So now we've got the next bouncing ball, right? Excuse me. There you go. Okay. Now let's have a look. Where is it? Is it a hot appraisal? Is it a buyer seller? Is it a B appraisal? So, you know, probably over the next 6 to 12, or is it, you know, it's a long-term appraisal. So where do I put that? Essentially, as you always know, if it's that and you keep following on it, it always comes that. If you keep following up, it becomes that. Now, the reason why I like owner, buyer seller, is because you might have a property that pops up and you go, hold on a second, I've got a seller that probably was looking to buy, so on and so forth. And you can kind of mix and match, and you can do your own prospecting session, probably 2 hours of the day on a Friday, just doing a buyer seller prospecting session, you know, seeing if you can match properties together. But anyway, so this is a good little kind of thing. Again, when you're doing prospecting, and yes, you have notes in Agent Box or your other CRM systems, but this might be a good way of kind of just looking at visually, going, oh, hold on a second, cool, I've got that. I want to go to my CRM, find that person, maybe give them a phone call. So again, Trello acts like your store person or store manager, warehouse manager, shall I say, and your CRM is your warehouse of contacts. Okay, so
Yep.
this is where it shows you where to point and shoot, whereas the CRM is where all your ducks are. Anyway, so
Love that analogy.
let's say the property is listed. We're going, okay, so we've listed the property, we've lost it. You can also do that, but let's say it's listed, right? Where do we go? Follow the bouncing ball. Let's go back to, here we go. So the property is now listed, right? It's the admin is there, I'm there. We're looking at it on a Monday going, okay, we've got some jobs to do. Oh, we've got a new property that's listed. What's the next task that we've got to do? Cool, bang. Have a look. Now again, so we've done this, we've done that. Now we're setting up everything here. And again, this can all be delegated. You can have time frames. You can click on certain things that do or do not apply, but we've literally got everything here. So if you're an agent that's just starting off and you got no idea what to do in terms of listing and selling, You just need to have this board here, and you can like literally find your way on what you're doing. Moving on to photos and all that kind of stuff booked. Bang, again, it's all here for you. Right, and then going live as well. We've got the going live section. And you could tell, you know, us real estate agents really starts to count or kind of number up on how much we actually do as agents for one listing, right? After all of this, going live, properties on the market. Now you've got the next set of lists. Look at that. Your task lists are now starting to really ramp up. So go into the market, look at all the stuff that we've got to do as agents. Bang. You know, and then
We don't do anything.
sorry.
And some people think we don't do anything. That's a giant list.
And again, it's for me, like I said, I can look at that and go, yep, I've done that, and I don't need to do something, so I get it off the list, right? So it's more of just a reminder. And then you also got multiple properties on the go that you go, oh, on a second, which one's most important? And you can do that. So look, you know, which properties I'm working with, then property goes under control, so under contract. So the list there for that. As you can see, it goes up 69, bang, 74, and then right at the end, we've also got the settlement under unconditional, and look at that. So from appraising the property to finishing off and settling a home is 92 tasks all up. So let's go through all of those. So preparing a report, right? Post appraisal, going live, checking all the stuff, processing, cooling off, unconditional, and then following up with the process of following up with the vendors afterwards, making sure they got gifts, testimonials, following up with the buyer, making sure both buyer and vendor are in the in your CRM to follow up 1 month, 6 months, 12 months, and so on and so forth.
They're super important things to have. Like so many people don't
Massive.
do that. It's like, oh, okay, now I should do that. Set that to every 6 months or every 3 months or every 12 months. Just having those things on there.
Yeah.
Ultimate to-do list.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's essentially what, like, you know, if you don't have a to-do list in real estate, you don't know what you're doing. You're just, as soon as, so I've seen it so many times, as soon as you, a young agent or a fresh agent starts off in this game, they start making phone calls, they start booking appraisals, then they start listing, and then all of a sudden, because they've been doing all that activity, they got 5 or 6 appraisals, listings, and they're like, I'm swamped. I've got no idea what's going on. I'm just kind of rushing around. I'm just kind of grabbing whatever I can grab, and everything's on fire.
Yeah. losing emails in text messages, writing them on notepads, everything gets lost. And you can, and look, I know even I did that when I came to EXP. I went through all my notepads, all my papers. I'm like, oh my God, I've got all these emails and phone numbers, stuck them in the system. And that's
Yeah. So like with this way here, as you can see, with, you know, it starts from the top. So you've got your business plan, your morals and values, all those kind of things. You've got your weekly activities to generate, look after, take care of your business. You've got your things to do that you need to do that's urgent. Your appraisals, where's your money coming from? Where's your pipeline? Then how are you producing all of that and what's going on? Right? And that should be completely your full circle. Now, I've also done a few other bits and bobs here as well. So offers received, we can also have the same. So going back to your, let's go back. So we are using currently jot forms, and sorry, that one there. Currently we're using jot forms, and I've got offers coming through. Now, those offers can potentially, depending if you wanted to set it up or not, you've also then can have all this here as well. So you could be negotiating multiple deals with different buyers, and you're going through here. Now, with the buyer pipeline as well, let's see. Yeah, well, we won't go into that too much because we've got some listings there. But the same thing. So you've got some VIP buyers. I think now with the marketplace becoming a little bit more fickle. You need to be not only looking after vendors, yes, the listings are still coming in, but I still believe that you need to have a buyer pipeline. And there's buyers that you're talking to. Like I said, on Fridays, you should really be doing a buyer conversation on Fridays, going, hey, look, there's open inspections coming up. Hey, there's new listings coming up. And that's where these buyers and the buyer pipeline is very important. Now, again, I'm running through this because it's quite complicated, but this is your final. So this is where I'm getting all my information from to get it into these checklists. So as you can see, I've just got to look at that. So pre-marketing. So what this is all for, right, is when you're running a team or yourself and you just want to remind yourself of what's going on, this is kind of like the cogs in the machine, right? So this here is like your post strategy, which we saw here. Okay, so those are those checklists. So anytime that you wanted to change up your pre-appraisal checklist or your post appraisal checklist, you literally just add an item and go from there. All right. And if you wanted to, and so like with all that, but the other thing is like if you've got stylist contact details, tradie contact details, you want to have an open inspections checklist on how to do an open inspection, coming to market, what's the vendor communication look like before first open inspection, right? You can have all that in there. So when your staff or yourself got no idea how to do something, you go, hey, these are the checklists, and that's what's associated with the checklist on how to do certain things. So that's your, I guess, your operations hub. Same with just sold, unconditional, finance follow-up. I've got processing a sale. Okay. But in here, you can see that I've also got this for anyone. So if you're not sure what's going on, right, you can go through this information sheet and just compliance, and it kind of goes through everything. So whether it's a young agent that you're bringing on board or you need a refresher yourself, you've got pretty much everything locked in and what's going on, explaining everything. All right. So there you go. And what else? Yeah, and then you've also got team management, agent box checklist. So that's stuff I can go into at a later date, but that's just the real simple nuts and bolts around how to set up a proper CRM, a proper what's the name, operational set a board for your business. And again, I think that's pretty much it, boys. I can't go into it too much more. Is there any questions that you guys want to go through?
Yes. So, incredible, and I can only imagine the amount of time and effort that's gone into
Like
creating this. Like,
hours, dude, hours.
mate, yeah, I
Oh,
can imagine.
mate, more than hours.
So,
That's a
so,
comprehensive
so,
board.
so short and sweet. If you want this, just become part of Marco's team, and you'll get it
Yeah.
free for it, right? It's built for you. Replicate, and implement, as we say. If you just want to unshare your screen, brother, so we can see everyone's
Yeah,
beautiful
I want to get on
faces.
board this Trello board. How do I? That's bloody
I do too,
brilliant.
but I'll be like, I don't know where to start. I'm going to grab that off you, mate, and
Yeah,
replicate.
it's a pretty easy rip and replicate situation. As you can see, I've got one agent with me that's using it, and Renz is loving it. He's got his own
Yeah.
board that I've set up for him,
So
and
we've got a question from Garima. Do we have a follow-up checklist for potential seller? Yes, Garima, that was that pre and post appraisal
yep.
checklist follow-up.
So
Absolutely.
if I just so I've got it. Yeah, I've got the checklist. Any checklist that you want, I've got.
Yeah. So we've like you were talking about buyers, man. So one of my questions was like, can you get this to sync a two-way sync with CRMs and other platforms? So
Well,
like if you're
that's what's one way I'm now working. So you can,
yeah,
um, and the reason why we can do it is because of Zapier.
yeah,
Zapier is that API connector. So why I
okay,
haven't done it so far yet, and you could do that with appraisals as well. So like imagine being to putting in your appraisal in that appraisal input form. It goes
yeah.
into your Trello board, but then it also gets uploaded into your CRM.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And
like for example, let's say if you're using HomePass to check buyers in, or you're using the Rex app,
Yep.
you can get the API through Zapier to link those buyers into here as well. No different.
If you wanted to, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, with obviously we're going with a new CRM. I haven't created that part. I'm going to be doing that with the team that I've got to be able to communicate backwards and forwards with Rex. And Rex is quite easy to API in with or connect with the
Yeah.
APIs. And Trello is very, very much very good with Rex. Loves Rex. They're best friends.
Yeah. Yeah,
Best
Rex is great with open APIs for that reason. When you get two-way open APIs where the systems are talking to each other, yeah, you don't need Zapier essentially. But so
I've
another
been,
question, mate, that I
yeah,
had was like with the reminders, obviously you can see that in your app, on your desktop, in your board, you get the email. Can you also get it to sync in with your calendar? So whether you're
yep,
using Outlook, Google, so
absolutely.
those tasks can be automated in your calendar as
Absolutely.
well? Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you can also have a full bird's eye view. You can change up the listing, so the appraisal board and also the listing board to have it as a calendar, so you can move things around on when you want certain things done on that listing and what day, or that listing I want to do this day, or it's going live at that day. So you can do all that. So you can actually have a live calendar view on what's happening. Building and pest inspections, yeah, all that kind of stuff as well.
Brilliant. Tony Fanfuller said, yeah, Zapier will create zaps for X to Trello.
Yep.
Absolutely. And now Grimmer's just asking, mate, also, how many touch points do you guys reckon for a potential seller with different time frames until they sell? Ooh.
Ooh. Well, let's give it a generic approach, I guess. Someone that is ready to go from 0 to 12 months, I would say you're touching them at least 8 to 10 times.
Yeah,
In
once
that
a month.
12-month period?
Because you don't want to overdo it, otherwise you just become annoying. And then
But
they
yeah,
get
so that's I would say 3 phone calls in that 12-month period. Outside of that would be text and emails and just kind of subconscious marketing to them.
Yep. Yep.
emails like Chris sends out weekly what the listings are each week on his emails. Should all be doing that. And every other month you're sending out other things as well. Plus you're doing your pamphlet marketing with the letterbox drops, calling up every now and then. The way I sort of approach it as well is I'm nurturing them. So they're like my friends. So I just call them every now and then. Hey, how's it going? Have a chat. You're just helping them, asking
Yeah.
them if they
And
have.
you're asking, I guess if you're going into these conversations, you're going in there with a bit of I guess thought process going, okay, what am I trying to hunt for? I'm hunting for first name, last name, email address. If I don't have that straight away, then do they have kids? Do they have a special story? And then writing that down. So the next phone conversation is going to be a certain conversation saying, oh, well, look, you've asked me to check on this, or you're coming back from holidays for that. Hey, I'm just giving you a call after that, either adding value or just following up, rather than going, hey, I'm just touching your base, right? And how you going? Are you ready to sell? That's
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
stupid.
because
Always look to add value, Grim. And I think if you're calling somebody to say, hey, you're ready to sell, you're ready to list now, you're going to become a bit of a pain in their rear end. And they'll probably get to a point where they'll maybe not take your calls, right? But when someone answers your calls, you know you've been adding value to them. So have intent and purpose as to what you're sending them, whether it's an EDM on a weekly basis, as I do as part of my Sunday night property news, right? Giving out free value with no expectations in return. But if you're calling, call them about something, whether it's
yeah,
about the interest rate reduction. Are you aware? Do you need to relook at your finance if you're looking to sell to buy? Does this rate change your buying and borrowing capacity for that next home that you want to move into, Tony, that we spoke about? Because you're not ready to list now, but you're going to be moving in the next 6 months, right? Just always call with purpose, intent, and have a reason to call them. Not, are you ready to sell? Do you want me to, just give value endlessly.
absolutely. So what I've done, guys, is I've also chucked in the pricing for Trello in the chat. Now,
Mm,
it does, I put it in there because it actually takes a little bit of searching for it. So I put it in there.
yes.
You've got, let me have a look here. Look, it's around $17 a month for the basic one, but then if you want to go to the next level, then it's around $17.50 USD. You've got to pay in a yearly one. The other subscriptions are monthly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And it works out to be about 450, something like that. I think I paid only about 3-4 months ago. Look at it when I think what do they call it? The Sunday, Black Sundays or Black Monday sales. They usually have discounts then.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think for that price point for a year, like I mean, there's other systems out there for that price point a year. I think it's pretty cheap to have an
Yeah.
ongoing kind of basic storage of process and systems and diary all in one hit. Now, not everyone's going to enjoy the digital and they like the diary setup. I know it's not for everyone, but I guess if you are a business owner or someone that's looking to grow and have growth in your system, right, then you need to really start stepping up with something a bit more complicated,
Yeah.
because you need to track, you need to monitor, you need to have your financials, you need to have your marketing, and then also you need to have a platform for other people's to plug into that as well. And you're not recreating the wheel every single time someone either gets hired or fired. They
Yeah.
can just plug in and you can then delete them out at the same time.
That's the
Yeah.
seven. That's the enterprise. That's the enterprise version where you can, estimated cost for 50 users, $17.50 a month US. That's cheap.
Yeah.
That's real cheap.
And then that way there you've got, structuring around, you could be the principal or the head agent. You can have a secondary agent underneath you that you're kind of monitoring, because you can do CRMs with, sorry, KPIs with this if you wanted to. You've also got a team manager. You potentially have an office manager. You got an accountant that can be plugged into this as well. And you can really just be kind of, and the other thing is all those pages that you saw, I can then also have what they can and can't see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, like for example, you have your business management or your business model at the top that I showed you. I could have certain people plugged into that, but only at a certain swim lane, which you saw, which is a co-agent. This is
Yeah.
your
Yep.
business model. This is our standards, but they won't see all our finances and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So we understand it integrates with everything pretty much, so you can
Yeah.
plug and play to anything. So just for me, mate, because like I'm a simple guy, like I run just one CRM, so Rex Agent Box. It's been for many, many years now. So what do you find the benefits between running a traditional CRM such as Rex and then Trello on the side? So what would you use Rex for? Obviously, we've seen what you use Trello for, but what are you capturing the core CRM like Rex for versus Trello?
So for me, I'd say you're capturing the data and putting it into Rex, right?
Yep.
And whereas the Trello is, then I can see it visually on where everything's moving. So,
Gotcha.
so for me, it's a more of a visual. I think what I find with CRMs is like it's very like formulas and like data and this and that, but you can't actually then grab that data and go, that's that person. I want to move it there, and I want to move it there. And so with what Trello gives you an opportunity to do is be able to visualize your business and how it's all moving around, and giving you not only that but time frames, giving you like calendar stuff. Yeah, but would I be using most of the CRM stuff that you guys have got, whichever is Rex or whatever it might be, is like I said before, it's just a warehouse of people and data that Trello will remind you to activate them. So when
Gotcha.
you so when you put the seed in the ground, Trello it will tell you when to actually harvest the crop.
Brilliant. Brilliant. All right. Well, we're 45 minutes in,
Yeah,
folks.
short,
If there's
sharp.
any final question.
I didn't want to go too hard, because if I went into it too detailed, everyone would be like, ugh.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
get
Oh,
lost in the
mate.
weeds. Yeah.
Yeah. You can
It's
go
more
deep
so
down that rabbit
more
hole with Trello, I'm sure.
Yeah, so today is more so showing you what the opportunity is, what you can plug into your business. If you plug, I'm going to plug this into my business now properly. Like I said, I've been playing around with this for about 6 months, getting my head around it. But I'm telling you, this will make sure my business is operating at a certain level. But also, I've gone to myself, I'm not operating more than 45 hours in my business a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And
you can because you're efficient and you're streamlined. That's
yeah,
why. You
yeah,
know, when
because
you
I've
when you hear people saying I'm working 80, 100-hour weeks, it's like, okay, cool. How productive are you really in that time though, right? Because you
Yeah.
might be running in manic or chaos mode, not
yeah.
structured and streamlined like you've shared today with the tasks.
And you could strip a whole lot of that. Like if you just sat down, and that's for me, like I said, my brain runs at probably 1 to 2 hour cycles, and then I've just got to do something else.
Yeah.
So like for me, I block myself out 1 to 2 hours. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, because I can't do emails and things to do list and then make phone calls at the same time and then prospecting, because I'm not putting my energy into all the right spots at the right time. So yes, for this one here, it will just really go bang. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing, and then I can go camping and fishing.
Absolutely, mate.
Exactly. The good stuff.
Will you be able to share a slice of the template in the group at some point over the weekend, mate?
Yep. And
Cool.
if anyone wants any checklists, man, I've got checklists for everything. So yeah, definitely
Oh,
reach
dude.
out. I've got checklists for days. So if you want it, we've got it.
Cool. So what we'll do,
Get it on,
folks.
sorry, get it on now, because I reckon anybody who's really watching this will be like, man, I want to jump on this immediately, because it's the Friday, and like, let's go.
All right. So what do you guys want? What do we put together?
Oh, mate, I think, obviously just share what you think's important, but as we said, mate, if you want it all, just join Marco's team and he'll
Yeah.
build it and have it there
Or
for
just
you automatically. But I think,
yeah. Or
just
just
share,
message me and we can trade
maybe
notes.
the pre and post appraisal checklist. That would be a
Yeah,
great
done.
starting point because that's what you've shown today as a reference point. And folks, we will be sharing the full recording of this on the page later today. So if you want to re-watch it all,
Yeah.
please do. And then Marco will share the pre and post appraisal checklist that he shared on today's session.
And the other thing is there's automation in this as well, which I didn't want to go into because again, depending on whether you're interested or not, but I've also got the automation down as well on the actual rules on how to like, if this does this, then that does that, and then this happens.
Right.
That's pretty.
That might have to be a future session right there.
Yeah, that's why again I didn't want to go too much into it because there is a bit I've been spending the last 6 months just literally kind of jumping in and like what's this do? What does that do? And what's going on here? And yeah, and trial and error and YouTube videos. And I've got a person in with Fiverr that helps me as well with like some stuff. But yeah, now I've kind of put it all together. I know what's going on, so I can help you with your board as well.
That was an
Wow.
excellent training session today, Marco. That was excellent.
Yeah, again,
Really?
short and sharp, to the point. Didn't want to blow your brains, but I can definitely blow your brains if you want.
Well, that automation stuff's going to be crazy. So I think we'll need to diarize that for a future Friday session, mate, where, so essentially what you're saying is once you tick off one task, then it automates the next flow-on effect task behind that as well.
Yep, absolutely. And you could take it in stages. I mean, we could split this up to whatever custom, whether it's more or less or whatever it might be, it is completely customized to your needs and how you want it to talk to you. Yeah, it's incredible. But you just need to go, okay, I'm willing to commit to this. It's not going to, it's like going from, like I was with Apple and then going to Android. It's a little bit
Yeah.
different. You got to take the time to learn it.
What?
Yeah, because Apple's shit.
He came from the dark side to the good side, Tony.
The prison, the Apple prison, the Stephen Jobs prison.
I reject everything you say on that.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, that wraps up today's session. Thanks for joining us live. If you're watching the replay, we hope you're well and found value in this incredible session by Marco around structure and to-do lists and the Trello board that he's got there ready to go. So if you want it, reach out to Marco, our main man there with the Trello space.
I've done all the work.
Next week, folks, we're going to redo the session from last week because we had issues with the live stream. So apologies. We promised to be as technologically advanced as possible, but we can't always promise technology is going to play nicely with us. There was some changes in the group settings for last week's event that I've managed to work out, hence why you're seeing us live today, right? So next Friday, Garima, this session might be useful for you because some of the questions you've asked, it will relate to this. I'm going to be sharing with you how you can create and build the digital letterbox drop through to the digital EDM. If you don't know what EDM stands for, it's electronic direct mail. So with that, I'm going to be showing what I do every Sunday night as part of my Sunday night property news, where I send out an EDM to all my database with that value adding content stuff. So not expecting them to list, not expecting them to sell, just giving them stuff that's useful, it's relevant, it's the now market, the now economy, the now government, whatever's happening around the globe and locally. I'm going to share that with you next week. Just some simple basics of how to build that digital letterbox drop, how to build that digital EDM, but also the call to action so people can actually book in with you directly without even having to pick up the phone. I've got a listing tomorrow, lads, in Anglevale at 4:30 p.m. And guess what? The client didn't even ring me. So if you follow me on socials, you've probably seen I did a bit of a video on this. Literally, I was in the office 9 o'clock the other night, 8:47, bing, the email goes off. I'm like, oh, what's that? Jump into my email, and there's a calendar appointment for an appraisal, 4:30 this Saturday, tomorrow, with a client that didn't even need to ring, speak to me, and just booked in directly with me.
Wow.
So I'm going to share that with you, Garima, and folks, for if you want to become that digital letterbox agent, if you want to become that digital EDM agent, I'm going to show you how I build that out on a weekly and monthly basis, and then the call to action so people can just book with you directly, very easily. All
Cool.
right, folks, have a successful weekend. Thanks for joining us. Lads, always love seeing you on these sessions.
Thanks,
And
mate. Thanks, Marco.
well, we'll be seeing each other tomorrow anyway. But whatever you do,
Yeah.
folks, we are the Alpha State of Mind. This is the Agents Weekly Blueprint. Thanks for taking time out of your business to work on your business with us. Whatever you do, have a stellar, successful weekend, and we'll catch you on the flip side next Friday. Thanks, folks.
Peace. Peace.
Yo, peace.
Peace, I'm out of here. Oh, that was my remote control. That was my mic drop.